Previously on the Pastor's
late 90s, early 2000s. And of course, she had a child with singer-songwriter Aaron Hall, who was part of legendary group Guy. She pretty much, revealed a story that I never heard before. So with this clip that I'm going to show you guys today, listen, man, this is a bombshell. You know what I mean? But again, this is alleged. But if what she's saying is true, this is something that I'm sure many people would love to talk about. Again, this particular video we talking about is industry sacrifices.
The higher the position, the greater the sacrifice. So Gloria Velez, she began to talk about how she was going to be a sacrifice. And listen, let's pray for this woman, because she's putting herself on the line as well as her son, because she's exposing some things that is secret.
But maybe he felt obligated to. He wanted to be famous. He wanted them to be accepted. But you got to have limits in sacrifices, to want to be rich or to want to be famous. You got to have limits. You can't. That limit of sacrificing a person shouldn't be ever.
Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of the Pastor's Chronicles. Before we get started, I would like to invite you to click the link below and join me on Facebook, the Pastor's Chronicles. Also, I would like for you to follow me on Instagram, where you have a lot of updates there. And also join me on my platform, the Pastor's Chronicles. And you can subscribe to that too. And also I want you to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Click the bell so you can get updates and whatnot, so you won't. And I'm dropping right now Tuesdays and Thursdays, and so people, please come back. And I usually drop around 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come through and check me out, because people are not getting notifications. Upon that note, let's get started with the next part of this Chronicles. And we're going to start this Chronicle off like this.
But only once you have the quote-unquote the mark available, the mark of the beast that is, and as you progress on the map you must complete 5 satanic rituals that literally manifest interdimensional demon-like entities and have a human being sacrificed.
So we walk into the venue, cameras, video cameras taking pictures, so we greet people, I'm still by his side. We walk into the back of the venue, because there's a stage, and so we walk in the back of the stage. Mm-hmm. He pulls a chair to the side of you see the stage, and there's the back entrance when you're performing and you're waiting to go on stage. So he puts a chair, sit here. I said okay, but he was serious and aggressive. I was like, damn, he's like, I'm still have no idea. I'm oblivious to what's going on or what's going to happen or what they tend to do. This female runs towards Aaron. And then he walks her halfway, grabs her, and they start talking, and they're in each other's face. So a 17-year-old's mind, you know what I'm thinking? They fucking. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Right? She's approaching, she's screaming, so I'm thinking, oh, I'm here, I'm pregnant. Right. She's upset, Aaron's a hoe. He's the nasty man, you know what I mean? Right. I'm like, listen, what's so crazy and mind-boggling to me, I would never hit Aaron back, even though he was physically, physical with me. But anybody else that would confront me, I would fight. I was a fighter. I was brave. But with him, I didn't step up for myself until I had my child. Then I was like, enough is enough. But so when she was screaming, and I was like, what up, bitch? Let's go, So that was my mentality. That's hot. Even though I was pregnant, I was like, let's go, bitch. So I'm thinking Aaron's fucking her. She's upset. I'm here. He brought me here. So the mood changed. People started moving towards Aaron and I, men. And then I said, ooh, it felt eerie. I said, something's different. This is not I'm fucking your man. It's a, when you're hard, you feel something's wrong. Right. Okay. And then, so I shut up quick. I was looking at the room and seeing, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck's really going on. Because I see the fear now in Aaron's face. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? So I see the fear that it's more than just they fucking, right? So within the commotion and people started moving towards, and you see the dudes, Pac runs. He runs towards Aaron, grabs up the girl, and says, nobody fucking touch her. Points to me. And he goes, she's family. She's Aaron's wifey. I told you nobody fucking touches her. So I looked and I was like, my mind's like, what the fuck is going on? He drags her out the side of the door. There's always back entrance to lead outside. And it was a back entrance, and a lot of people follow. When Pac moves, people follow. And they followed him outside. And then Aaron standing in front of me like a guard dog. He was like, don't move, don't say shit. And I'm like, yeah, I had no idea what was going on. So we waited patiently until Pac came inside. And, my heart's racing because, your senses tell you something's wrong. That this is not right. Especially the people that you see around in the back, you know, it's not like we're in blue tuxedos, you know, we're in an all-white party. You know, we got some thugs, we got some gangsters, you know, it's real live shit that can go pop off. And I got that, but I didn't know how real it was going to get, or what they wanted to do, I should say. So Pac comes in and comes up to us and be like, you know, you guys are good. And looks at Aaron and says, don't stay long. Like dead up like that, don't stay long. And then hugged us and then went on stage. And he's my God, not knowing at that point he was my angel. He saved my life. I mean, I'm happy that Aaron stood up and grabbed and he was like, no, you know, but I'm mad that he brought me there anyways, you know, because he had a choice. You know, God always gives you a choice. Demons always give you a fucking choice. You know, that was his choice to bring me there to those wolves, you know, a lamb 17 and pregnant. Yeah. So maybe he was contemplating with himself. I don't know if he was battling himself, but Pac saved my life. And I'm grateful that he saved my life. And we stood for a little while and we said goodbye. And before we said goodbye and left, one of the demons came up to me and said, you're blessed, you know, and said a bunch of other things that I will not say, but I mean, I was looking a demon in the eyes, you know, he was telling me that you almost got, and I felt it in my soul. Like when he stared at me and looked at me and was like, oh, you just passed, you almost died. Like, and I felt it. Like I felt his aura, his heaviness. You feel that shit, you know? And then we left and then we went to the hotel. He didn't go to any other recordings. He didn't go to any other video shoots. And we went on a plane and left. A few days later, we never turned around. And then 4 months later, Pac dies. And I was devastated, you know, because in the beginning, I didn't know that he saved my life. I know he saved maybe an ass whipping because it looked like more than one wanted to kick my ass. But I didn't know the reason that they wanted to, you know, leave me to die. You know, the setup allegedly was to make it look like a gang thing, you know, beat her up to death, you know, and leave me on the side of the road somewhere. So that's what allegedly they were supposed to do. And whatever else, because there was dudes approaching. So it wasn't just a female, you know, she had dudes with her.
What was her purpose? The female.
To drag me out, to start it off. Remember, it's all about a look. So it's got to look like gang related, grabbing up another girl, dragging her out of the venue, and then whatever the dudes and the guys beat me up, rape me, whatever they wanted to do, and leave me on the side of the road for dead. So that was the plan. That's what they wanted to do, you know, and you know, I want people to know, when I want to bring it back, like 4 months later, you know, Pac dies. And I remember where I was at. I remember I was driving. I was in South Florida. I remember just crying because, you know, he had so much more to give. Like, I'm grateful that before he left, he saved my life. Like, that's like, you know, he thought I was worthy enough, I should say. You know, I'm sure that he came across a lot of things and helped a lot of people, but he stopped and said, you know what, I'm going to save this young girl. You know, that's incredible to me. You know, I'm thankful because my son is here. I'm still here, you know, and I want to tell the story because in this industry, there's a lot of ugly, there's a lot of good too, you know. But we have to acknowledge the ugly too, you know. We can't just hide.
So there you have it, family. Chronicle Nation, can you see that, first and foremost, I don't know why it took this woman so long to actually reveal this, but she said that it was told to her son, who is now working, I guess, trying to make music or whatever. But on the contrary, family, this woman be written off as a Looney Tune, or that she's fabricating all this to get attention or whatever. But if she start exposing more, a lot of things I'm sure she's not telling. There's a sufficient amount of things that they can say or mention. If they go too far, they're going to be like what happened to many of the other celebrities that begin to break the code of silence.
Fortunately, there are certain stars who won't do what we want.
What's their problem? They're still alive.
And then we thought, who's good at killing celebrities?
Me!
That's right. Homer, would you be willing to acquire some more, accounts for us?
The Bart Simpson cartoon may have been a warning to Prince to keep his mouth shut, because Prince began to speak out. And the last thing we heard Prince talk about was chemtrails. The same thing or the same biological warfare that's been used to cause what we are seeing today in our time with the zombie apocalypse. I can't say the word because they'll block this video. Prince spoke out against it. And when he did that, he broke the silence.
Sacrifice for fame. A lot of you won't get this, but those of you who are up on entertainment already know the truth. Let's talk about Prince starting off. In 98 and 99, Prince would end all his tours with letting the world know what's coming ahead, but no one knew what he was talking about. Check it out.
We got one more, and we're gonna get out. I gotta go home, y'all. I gotta go back to America. I gotta go get ready for the bomb. Osama bin Laden getting ready to 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 bomb.
Now you tell me, how do Prince know about the bombs 2 to 3 years ahead of time, when Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden weren't even talked about until the bombs and the towers actually went down? That lets you know the elite lets these guys know what's up ahead of time. Once you hit that $50 million marker, you become very special to the elite, and they let you know what they know. And by Prince being an artist, they like for you to sing about it. They also, if you're a big time movie director, they like for you to put it in your movies. They tell us every day, but most Americans are brain dead. But yes.
Fortunately, this discussion is going to start to barrel into a discussion about the human genome and the DNA and all the rest of it. When it gets there, then we're going to be in the deep water. See, so it's better to start the conversation now before we get into God talk, you know.
There are 4 songs that I want to, you can go to lotusflower.com and get it. And follow along at home, even if you're 2 or 3 days late, you can play this back and follow along. In no particular order, since we mentioned Dreamer first, tell me about Dreamer.
Oh, well, when I saw the State of the Black Union, Dick Gregory really moved me and a lot of my friends. I show it to everybody that comes over the house, especially white folks, because they need to hear that, you know, so that they know more about all of us. Because what he said affects all of us. He said something that really hit home about this phenomena of chemtrail. Chemtrails. And you know, when I was a kid, I used to see these trails in the sky all the time and say, oh, that's cool, a jet just went over. And then you started to see a whole bunch of them.